this is Ellie from ProLifeForMankind.com. Today we're talking about the Tilma of Guadalupe. It's a miraculous image. And as I've shown in my previous videos, I found years on the Tilma, 1903 to 2020. Well, there's also a constellation map which matches the events of the tribulation we're going to go through. And I'm going to show you in these constellations what they mean. So the first one we have here is Orion. He's called the Hunter. And Luz de Marie came out recently saying that the final blood moon before the big war, World War III, begins, will be the Hunter moon. That will happen in winter. That's when winter times almost see that blood moon before World War III that Louise Marie talks about, because Louise de Marie. And then right above the Hunter Orion is a 46th star. Why? For our president, Joe Biden. Many of the prophecies talk about there's going to be chaos in a country, particularly I believe America, because something's going to happen to Joe Biden. It was prophesied by Dana Coverstone that he saw a casket in Washington. So we have to pray for our president, and it was also told by Father Rodrigue, a Catholic mystic, that there would be chaos in a country after a betrayal of a political figure who's going to be killed. So we have two people saying something very similar. And the 46th star in the Tilma is Joe Biden for the 46th president, because this is the Lady of the Americas. So now we're going to talk about the next constellation on the Tilma is Auriga. It's a northern constellation on the Tilma. It represents Russia. Russia will be the one to cause World War III. Sister Lucia Fatima, a Catholic mystic, said Russia would be God's instrument to punish the world, the hammer. And there Vladimir Putin is. And he will come with his secret armies. We know that to be Iran. Why Iran? Because St. John Bosco talks about a ram coming at the Vatican. And it causes a big gash in the ship in which the Pope and the whole church are on. And then we also have China. China's going after Taiwan. So we have a lot of things that can happen. This World War III begins right after whatever happens to our president. God, I'm praying God will protect him and this will not happen. Remember, all these events are conditional and they can change with prayer. And then during the war, that's when the illumination of conscience happens, and that's circled in yellow there with the cross, the Southern Cross. And when the illumination of conscience happens, the war will end. Vladimir Putin will be destroyed, and all of the leaders that are with him will be killed, and all of those who are against religion, who want to destroy, those people will be killed with the illumination of conscience if they don't convert. So we have to pray for them, pray for their conversion. So now we've talked about Auriga, the charioteer, and about the illumination of conscience which comes during the war. There is a blue line I put above the cross, which is the Southern Cross. That represents the year 2031. And that's because on the Tilma of Guadalupe is the 500th anniversary of Our Lady of Guadalupe. You can't see her hands, but that's about where the hands are at, right after the illumination of conscience. And on the other hand, on the right hand, is that name, Famat, the Antichrist. So after the illumination of conscience, sometime after that comes the coming of the Antichrist, Famat, which means darkness. And you can see the purple triangle. We have, first off, Hydra, which represent Isa. It's going to be an Islamic three Antichrists. So we have a Hydra, which represents the sea beast of Revelation 13, which is Isa. He is called the Little Horn, as described in the book of Daniel. You can read about it in the book of Daniel about the Little Horn. He's the Syrian Jewish Antichrist, the destroyer. That's what he is, because he destroys everything and anything in the image of God, which would be all Christians and Catholics who will not take his mark. He is our Antichrist, and he will come with the book of Injil. Isa will come with Injil, which is the New Testament one of the 5 books of Islam. Then after that, we have the Iranian flag right above that. That represents Ophiuchus, the constellation, the serpent holder. Why? Because he has power over the little horn, Isa. We just talked about Isa, remember? And so the Iranian 12th Imam is the big horn of Daniel. And the big horn has power over Hydra, who represents Isa, who represents the name Famat, or the Islamic Antichrist, our Antichrist, who will come with the book of Injil. So the 12th Imam is the Messiah of Muslims, the Iranian flag there you see. And he's the big horn of Daniel. Then after that comes the next flag we see there of that Islamic triangle is the Lebanese antipope named Draco, the dragon. It's on the Tomb of Guadalupe. It's a constellation. And that represents the Lebanon antipope. Because we know in Thyatira, the Church of Thyatira talks about, which represents Europe and the Vatican, but also remember Pergamum, that the sons of Dan come from Asia. And so Thyatira also mentions the antipope. He has Lebanese copper feet, because the feet come at the end, as described in the book of Daniel. So here we have this conditional time map with no dates, but only events, which match the book of Revelation. Events which are coming to us quickly.